Well, only one other player in the history of football, one other quarterback has had a game like Kirk Cousins had last night in prime time. Over 500 yards. Think about that. 5 football fields, 4 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins and Tom Brady in a primetime standalone game. That was an all-time performance. He's joining us live. He doesn't even look tired. Look at this guy. Looks like he just got 9 holes to. Aren't you a little? I mean, it went to overtime. Aren't you a little beat up this morning, Kirk? A little?
Oh, I definitely am. I got home about 2:30 in the morning last night. So it was a long night, but a fun night. And now we've got a long weekend to rest up. And I'll be posted up on my couch watching everybody else play football.
So we know basketball players talk about getting into a zone. We know baseball hitters talk about getting into a zone. And I'm watching you. And by the way, Baker played a heck of a game, but you're passing like 55 plus times. So do quarterbacks get into zones? I mean, you've always been accurate, but did you have something extra last night, or is it there's too much stuff going on in your head to worry about that?
I think you certainly can get to a place where you feel like the game slows down and you've got good anticipation. I think that for me, what troubled me to start the year was I didn't feel like I had that anticipation or that sense of where things were going. And each week I've improved. And then I felt like last night our offense and my own play kind of took a big jump forward where I was anticipating better. I was playing fast. I was quick, but I wasn't in a hurry. And that's really where you want to be all the time. But it's just taken me a few weeks to get there. And now the challenge is, can we sustain over the next, few months?
So you're a veteran quarterback, and Stafford's talked about this before. You're on a very young offense. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan. These are kids, and you're like a coach. Is that hard? Is it refreshing? How does that land for you?
I enjoy it. I think it gives me a chance to assert myself more as a leader. When I was in Washington, I was playing with players who were twice my age at those skill positions. Vernon Davis, Pierre Garçon, Deshaun Jackson. These guys had double-digit years in the league, and I was, in year 4 just trying to figure it out and hoping they weren't going to get mad at me. So now as a 13-year vet working with guys in year 2 and 3, it gives me a great chance to be an encourager, to kind of help them hopefully get to where they want to go and be a part of that. So I enjoy that opportunity.
So I want you to take me, because I said to start the show, there's not 7, 8 guys in the world right now playing quarterback that could have done that last minute 14, no timeouts. That is really hard. You gotta be, first of all, cognitively, clock, young teammates, the way you guys scrambled. The referee, by the way, did a great job to pirouette out of there.
Yeah, he did.
Did a great job. Take me to the last minute 14. Is there ramped up anxiety? What are you looking for? Everybody was clearly on the same page. Do you get more focused in those little micro moments?
Well, I think you trust your training and you go back to your process. Koo being the kicker, that you have some grace as to how far you need to go to get that field goal. And then, we're pretty well coached on, those situations of when the ball's got to be out of bounds or to the end zone and when, we have to clock it. So that was executed well. And to your point, the referees have gotten a lot better at allowing people to clock the ball quickly. I think 2 or 3 years ago, that ref might have taken too long and we wouldn't have had a chance. So kudos to them for kind of getting that dialed in where he just touches the ball and enables us to operate quickly.
I was looking at this. Your coaches, this is crazy. McVay, Shanahan, LaFleur, Mike McDaniel, Kevin Stefanski, Kevin O'Connell. You have had smart dudes. You've probably, and I think Raheem Morris for a defensive coach, he was McVay's buddy. He's probably better than average for a defensive coach. Did you take little bits and pieces out of all of them? And, I mean, could you say, yeah, McVay showed me this, Kevin O'Connell, or have you always been kind of the same guy? Have you borrowed things? Do you take things when you have that many good coaches around you?
That's a great question. Many of them came from the same tree, and so they were often in the same room. And as a result, we sort of speak the same high-level language with all of them. That being said, it's been fascinating to see as they've gone their separate ways, they've each kind of put their own spin on things. And so I've gotten back with a Kevin O'Connell or a Zach Robinson after being with Sean McVay and being away from Sean for several years, and then learning how Sean and their group evolved it from where we were when I was with Sean has been really cool to see. And then each person kind of puts their own creative spin on it. And, now in Atlanta, we're kind of trying to evolve into what the 2024 Falcons look like,
Yeah.
which is, different from the 23 Vikings, different from the 23 Rams that Zach Robinson was with, but keep trying to take those steps and innovate. And then also it's a copycat league. So you try to steal from the good ideas you see on tape. But I've been very fortunate to be around a lot of great coaches. I throw Gary Kubiak and Clint Kubiak and Rick Dennison into that list. Big part of having success at the quarterback position is who are your coaches. And for 13 years, I've been able to be around a lot of good ones.
You have a lot more records than people realize. Most game-winning drives in the history of the league in a single season, 8. And, I said this earlier. You and Peyton Manning are very detailed, precise guys. You're smart, you're detailed. Early in both of your careers, sometimes instead of the 1 o'clock game, you go to these primetime games, you're sitting around all day in a hotel. And early in your career and Peyton's, people said, well, Kirk in primetime games isn't the same quarterback. Well, that's changed. And it changed for Peyton. You go back to your first, second, third year in the league, and now, what have you done? Because something's different. You're now one of the best in the league. So was Peyton at the end. But in the first couple years, there was a label, Kirk, Peyton. They're precise. They're detailed. They don't like to be off their, schedule. Was that true? What happened? What's transformed for you?
It's hard to say. I think when you go back and look at it, I had a couple clunkers in prime time when I was a young player. But to be honest, if those games had been played at noon or 1 o'clock, it probably would have been a clunker anyways because of how young of a player I was. But the reality was I was playing on teams that were 500 teams. And in prime time, we often got scheduled to play defending Super Bowl champs and division champs and, teams that were going to make deep runs in the playoffs. And so it was unlikely we were going to win going into the game. And then when we lost, it became, Kirk's not great in prime time. But if you really look at the production, I was pretty much the same player from just a statistical standpoint in those primetime games. We just weren't winning. And as of late, we've been able to kind of turn the tide when it comes to finding a way at the end of the game to win. But if, a call doesn't go our way last night or a break doesn't go our way, yes, we lose, but I don't walk away saying I didn't play well. I just walk away saying we didn't do enough to win. And I understand it's all about winning, but, I wouldn't have changed my approach as to how I played or how I prepared. So, as a quarterback, you're going to always kind of get too much praise, too much criticism. And I think some of that showed up with the primetime narrative, but I'm kind of on the other side of it now where now people view me as, oh, you're playing well in primetime. And I'm thinking, well, I'm playing about the same. We're just winning, and so it leads to a little more praise.
Yeah, clutch Kirk Cousins. By the way, about 45 seconds left. First game off of surgery, people said, look at Kirk. He doesn't trust his body. Second game, everybody's like, Kirk's back. We got 40 seconds, but you've changed. I mean, it did look like that first game you were kind of feeling your body out. How do you feel now? How do you feel?
It had less to do with the Achilles. It had more to do with the fact that I just hadn't played since week 8 of last year. And I worn a red jersey in practice all these months, and I didn't play in a preseason game. And practice, oftentimes we were going against the twos, and there was just a lot of simulated things that weren't the real deal. And so to be back in the fire for the first time, I had some rust to get off. And I think each week, the last, several have been an improvement. And I think last night we took a big step forward. But now the challenge is can we continue to maintain that standard as we move forward? But I did feel a different level of anticipation and playing fast last night that is back to kind of my old self that I felt was we were on our way there, but we hadn't really closed the gap, it felt, until last night.
By the way, Zach Robinson, maybe only throw 54 times next week, not 58. 509 yards, 4 touchdowns. It's just, it was remarkable. And congratulations, you've earned it. You not only deserve it for your career, you've earned it. And I appreciate you doing this. Go take an afternoon nap on us. We appreciate you.
I think I will, Colin. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
You bet. Kirk Cousins on a magical night for him and the Falcons. This league is so close. They had it, they lost it. They had it, they lost it, they had it. I mean, when Mooney drops that ball, I'm thinking, wide open. He got a second chance. What a night. Kirk Cousins. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, Blazing Fives around the corner. I got a rebound.